Hello, beloved. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I'd like us to look at something from the book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 8. Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 8. It says, "But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore, he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself." I take it again. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now, this is so amazing because at this point in time, the king had given an instruction for them to be well fed. And the Bible says that these people were actually brought from Judah. And the king actually wanted to test them because he wanted them to serve in Babylon, the kingdom of Babylon. So they had to be well fed before presenting themselves unto the king for testing or for examination. But the Bible says that Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself. It means that Daniel saw the meal as a meal that was going to defile him. And the Bible said he purposed in his heart. It means he made up his mind. He was resolute. He said, "I'm not going to do this thing." Now, the good thing is this. In verse 9, the Bible says, "Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs." So you see, when Daniel made that request, the request was granted him. The reason is because he had purpose in himself. Now, I believe God was excited and God was pleased with the decision Daniel had taken. Amazingly, at the end of everything, in verse 19, the Bible said, and the king communed with them. And among them all was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king. Verse 20. And in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. Verse 21. And Daniel continued even unto the first year of King Cyrus. Amazing. When we look through the book of Daniel, you see that Daniel was a remarkable person. God used him amazingly in the land of Babylon. Now, Babylon was a land of mixture. When you look at the word Babylon, it's from the word Babel, which means mixture. It was a place of mixture. And that is why in Babylon, they did not mind you serving your God, but you were still supposed to bow down to their God. So you see that in Daniel chapter 3, they were supposed to bow down to the image that Nebuchadnezzar had erected. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego chose not to. Over here in verse 8 of Daniel chapter 1, the Bible said Daniel purposed in his heart that he will not defile himself. The question is this: have you purposed in your heart not to defile yourself? There are many defilements around us. At work, you can entangle yourself with certain defilements, certain kinds of corruptions, things that will corrupt your system. But you see, once you purpose in your heart, I believe that God will make a way for you. Many of the times, we are not strong enough, we are not resolute enough to make up our minds that I'm going to do this thing or I'm not going to do this thing. But anytime we do, there is grace supplied, there is grace made available. I believe Daniel knew that he was from a place. Daniel was conscious of where he was from. That he was from Judah. He was a Jew. And as a Jew, there are certain things he cannot do. In our context, the Bible said in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 20, it said, "For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirits, which are God's." So because your body belongs to God, because your spirit belongs to God, and you are bought with a price, Paul says, therefore glorify God with your body and with your spirit. Glorify God in your body and in your spirit. That means all we have and all we are belongs to God. So we should never allow anything to defile us. And that is why in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 22, Paul said, "Abstain from all appearance of evil." Choose today not to defile yourself. That's what I want to admonish you. Choose not to defile yourself. Anything that will produce any kind of defilement in your life, stay away from it and purpose in your heart not to defile yourself. God richly bless you, and thank you for joining me today. I'll see you same time in our next session. God bless you.